it just feels very like, okay, right now it's in gear, like it moves a little bit, but it doesn't move a lot. Mine will literally like, it'll move.
Okay.
I don't know really how to explain that without like showing you, but it just feels loose and sloppy, whereas this just feels solid.
But you never changed yours.
I changed my knob to kind of like combat that, but I don't have like a short shift or anything. No, I have a new clutch. It's a twin disc, but it still does that.
Okay.
So it's just the transmission.
Okay.
I heard like a short shifter helps, but this just feels like this is the way I would want it to feel with the short shifter.
When I first got the car, I was not used to the power coming at the very end of letting go of the clutch. Is that different than your GT?
Mine comes on kind of like towards the middle, like that's where I feel it bite the most.
So this one you agree like it's kind of towards the end of letting it go?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like as I'm towards the end, I kind of like have to feel it out almost, but yeah, mine comes on towards the middle and this one comes on towards the end, so it's a little bit of getting used to. I've noticed with my new clutch it kind of comes on towards the end, but with the OEM one I know for sure it comes on like in the middle.
What about like the sitting stance?
Like the...
And you can adjust this too.
Oh, like with just like...
Yeah, is this good or you want to adjust it?
Oh, this is fine, yeah.
Okay.
I like it right here actually, kind of high up.
Okay. No, but I mean like your sitting stance compared to your GT, is it kind of the same kind of...
Do
you feel the same?
It feels similar, but a little bit bigger, if that makes sense. I think it's just because it's kind of wider and the hood comes up more.
Okay.
But it feels like an old friend. We'll call it that. That's a good. At its heart, it is a Mustang.
Yeah.
There's just certain things that were changed, like the length, the width.
So, I've never, to be honest with you, I've never driven any Mustang except this Mustang GT350.
Yeah.
So this is all I know.
Yeah.
But I've heard GT owners or people even on YouTube when I'm watching videos that the Mustang GTs, the lower torque, because the thing about the GT350 is, hey, you know, up until you hit 4,000 RPM is when you start to feel the power kicking in. And I've heard that and I've watched that the Mustang GT, the power kicks in at a lower RPM. So I don't know I mean, maybe we'll have to drive a little bit for you to kind of gauge that, but that's what I've heard and watched all the time on the videos is that the GTs have more power on the quicker,
like on the lower
than
end
the GT350, and it could be because this red line's at 8250. I've heard people say because this red line's so far down, but I don't know.
Well, I noticed like with my car, it doesn't have like as much torque as let's say like a Dodge or like a Camaro or anything like that. I think that's just like a Ford thing. Lower end torque but higher end power.
So you're saying you're feeling something similar right now?
Yeah, it's pretty similar. Yeah, like with mine, you still have to kind of work to get the power, and I noticed that with this car already. But it makes it like that's part of why they're so fun to drive. You have to work to get the power. You can ring it out, and then you're like, wow. But this one comes on a little. Like you have to work a little bit more to get it, but there's also more power to be gained. I want to floor it right now, but this car's in the way.
No,
yeah, it still feels plenty fast. Like it feels faster than mine. And I noticed that there is not as much torque, especially like off the line. Like it's a V8, so you still have plenty of torque to go off. But like if we're comparing it to like off the line to a Camaro or like a Dodge where they're 6.4 liter, 6.2 liter motors with 400 plus pound-feet of torque, like 450 even on the supercharged models. But like obviously you can't compare to that. It's a naturally aspirated motor. But I feel like even though you don't have the immediate torque off the line, it's still plenty of fun. Like,
yeah. So it's something similar to your Mustang GT.
Yeah, it's you have to kind of get up there to actually get the power out of it. Like, there's still when you floor it, it's not going to be the quickest in a 0 to 60, but that's not the point of the car. It's a track car. You want to be able to keep within a certain RPM and have power on a track. Let's see.
Let's crack there. You can crack the window a little bit. Like, just, we'll crack it a little bit. Not too, there
Like
you go,
that.
perfect. All right, so we'll go up and then we'll...
Yeah, this is a good place to... There's no cops around here, right? That's where the torque comes on.
It had a lot more to go there than that 8250, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't even get close to touching that red line. I was just because I'm used to changing gears a little bit lower. But it's almost like unnatural. You're like, all right, I should shift, and then you're looking, you're like, no, I shouldn't.
So how did that feel a little bit compared to?
It feels
like when you're in your Mustang GT. Is it the same kind of feeling, or do you feel something a little different?
It feels more raw in a sense that like it sounds exotic. You feel it a little more because there's more power, and then like I don't know, everything just feels a little bit more refined, but also raw. Like it's not like rough.
Okay.
You know, it's like as I'm flooring it, it just feels like okay, I can control myself in this car while still flooring it. Like it's not uncontrollable.
Okay. Do you feel like you're, because it's a Mustang, but I mean, do you feel, make a right here? Do you feel like it's you're sitting in your car, just maybe different feel of the steering wheel, or?
Not really. I want to say it is different. I don't know necessarily what makes it different yet. Maybe we'll find out by the end of the drive, but it does feel different. Like it doesn't feel like my car, especially not when I'm flooring it.
Okay.
When I'm flooring it, my car likes to slide, especially in the back. Like it'll slide immediately to the left.
Okay.
And I'm running Pilot Sport 4s, so you'd think it'd be maybe the tires, but no, the tires are fine. It's just that's how the car likes to act. Whereas when I floor this one, it just hooks.
So let's flip the mode into track mode.
Okay. Well, I can tell you right now, I definitely would not have trusted my car on that turn. I would have let off. This one just likes a stick, and it does feel firmer. I like that. Like it didn't roll. It was just okay. We're going on a turn, and I'm just gonna stick it.
These cars can get really fun, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is definitely. I can see why people go for this over a normal Mustang. Just saying, it's just because we don't have the money. I definitely would have bought this car over my Mustang any day. Okay, yeah, you can definitely tell when the torque kicks on. Like it was like an exact. It was like 4,000 about. Like it was going, and then right at 4,000, it's almost like whole new intake system. Like you just felt the power just kick on. It was like this, and then all of a sudden like head back in the seat.
I don't even know what is your GT, where does it redline at?
Mine red line's at 7,500.
Okay.
So this is almost a whole grand up there, like higher.
Okay.
And then when mine, I know when I'm flooring mine, it doesn't feel like that. Like, yeah, you don't notice like that it's got low torque.
Yeah.
I mean, it kicks on lower, so that might be why. But no, this one's definitely like, if I were compare VTEC to anything, it would definitely be like this. Like how it just kicks on at a certain RPM, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I rang it out in that first gear. That felt very unnatural, but it was fun.
Unnatural meaning going to 8,000.
Just going so high.
High in RPM. Yeah.
I'm not used to that. It's just because most cars don't even rev above 7. So when I first got my car, even like revving all the way to 7,500, I was like, okay, well, I have to pay attention because otherwise I'm just gonna rev at 6, downshift. This car definitely just makes you feel confident when you're driving it. Like you're not like, oh, I'm scared of it or anything. Like it makes you feel confident in your driving ability and being able to handle the power and put it down. No, everything about this car just feels great so far. Like it just sticks in the turns, where like my car would just slide out, and it might have to do with honestly just the suspension, really, like because this has Magnaride, right? Yeah, that's definitely like one of the biggest things. But yeah, like even on these small turns, like it just doesn't feel like it's gonna move. It feels very planted. There's no body roll. Like if I were to chuck it at a turn like that turn at 60, I would be fully comfortable. Well, it feels good. I mean, it's a little, I don't know this area too well, like these roads, but it feels good. Like even like if I didn't have like the line here or anything, I know where the car is going. Like it likes to track a little bit, but it still just feels like very solid. Like where I want to go, it's going. It's not doing anything unpredictable. You know what I mean? Like some cars like to do that, where you're like trying to go this way, and then it's like, oh no, let me jerk the wheel this way, because they track so much. This car tracks, but just enough to the point where it's not unbearable and it's not unpredictable. Okay. Because my car, I'll steer it and it likes to jerk the wheel a different way. Like if there's a crack in the road or anything that's too big, it'll take my wheel and almost like take control from me, and it's not good. That'll put you in some dangerous situations very quickly if you're on the wrong road. I feel like that's the best thing about this car. You can just go at a turn and be fine. Like if I were to own one of these, I'd definitely go on a canyon run at least once a week. Because it just feels very confidence inspiring. It's fun. You're not worried about like, oh, am I gonna slip? Like, can't go too fast, because this car has very high limits, and it's very hard to kind of pass those. Yeah. Because they're set so high. Like it just grips. Like you'd have to be driving almost stupidly and on purpose to like try and break the tires loose and all that, and like crash the car almost. So first things first, if I were to give this car a rating out of like 5 stars, it's like 4.8. It's a little bit scary. That's why it's not a full 5, because I don't know if it's just me or if others can contest to this too. On some turns, like if you're going on an uphill and you're flooring it, or like getting close to like giving it a lot of power, it does feel a little bit sketchy. That's just me most likely, because I'm not familiar with the car yet. So I don't know if it can really stick. It feels like it can, but I don't want to test it out and find out. And as for the Voodoo engine is the 5.2 liter for those of you that don't know. It's kind of like the 5.0. It's got 2 extra liters, like 0.2 liters of extra displacement, and its main thing is it's got a flat plane crank. I'll tell you right now, that thing sounds badass. It sounds so much better than just the normal 5.0, which already sounds pretty good, to be honest. But that flat plane makes it sounds like a Ferrari, like an exotic, and it's so crisp. So, but everything else about this car, it's definitely great. Some of the things that are very different from a normal Mustang are its handling capabilities. I just have a normal base model pretty much, like no fancy suspension, anything like that. It does have lowering springs, but this car definitely grips. My car wouldn't have been able to do half the stuff that we did today. Like it hooked on a first gear pull. My car doesn't do that. I can trust this car in most turns. My car, you can trust on some. It feels a little bit wider, but the way it handles kind of makes up for that. It's very nimble. It's quick. It sounds very great. Like it's raw sounding. It feels very driver focused. I feel like just my Mustang in general, it's kind of trying to do both. It doesn't do very good at either, because it's trying to do too much. This car is very focused on the driver, and that's its strong point. Like you can get in here, it feels great inside, but you know that overall it's a driver's car, and that's what it's doing great. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got out of that drive, but it's a great car. I definitely recommend buying one if you got the money.